The first new Tokyo Mater variant of the year is here, and it's Kyandee, straight out of case R of singles, one of the latest cases hitting stores right now across the world. I found remnants of the case at my local Target store, but I didn't see any of the good ones like Pick Remember Sarge, Christina Wheeland, JW, and of course Kyandee here, all four of which are brand new made-in-Thailand variants. However, I would definitely put Kyandee at the top of all four of them because this is her first release in 11 years and only her third release all time. All three of her releases have been singles, 2010, 2014, and now. And she is the first of three brand new Tokyo Mater variants coming out this year. The next one being Cho in a couple cases, and then grand finale, Bye Bye Car, an absolute humongous re-release, something you definitely should be looking forward to this year because she breaks the trend. If you guys haven't realized, ever since Mattel started incorporating the Tokyo Mater characters into the mainline a few years ago, the only characters that have seemed to have been allowed to come back were those re-released from 2014 to 2017 in the Walmart exclusive Toons line. So Dragon McQueen, Drift Party, Mater, Kabuto, Ninja, Manji, Koza, Komodo, Patoka, Ito-san, all of them were re-released in 2014, 2015, or 2016, including Kyandee and Cho. So that's why we kind of anticipated they would come back at some time. But Bye Bye Car was only released in 2010 and did not come back during that kind of mid-Toons run. So that's why she is so special. She also was super rare from 2010 to begin with. But enough about her. We're focusing on Kyandee today. Really excited to see how different she is from her Chinese original release in 2010 that is the original version, and also this prototype I have. So a three-way comparison. And yeah, it's also kind of wild that they saved all the Tokyo Mater ladies to release in 1 year. Kind of strange they didn't spread them out a little bit more, but hey, I'm very excited for these. These are some of the best cars from the short. That is my favorite Cars Toon short, if you guys didn't know. Also, the most popular one. That's hence why they pretty much only release cars from that short and not any of the other ones. But as it is with all Tokyo Mater singles since the beginning in 2010, you just get Mr. Tokyo Mater himself on the card there, as seen in Tokyo Mater in the top left. And yeah, Kyandee, just a name, so you don't need to translate that into any other languages. I'm sure Mattel loves that. And on the back here, you could see Komodo accompanying Kyandee because Komodo was released this year in case P, which is the second case of the year. Case R, the one that Kyandee's in here, is the fourth case of the year. So when Cho gets released, then you'll see three of them on the card back. But yeah, really cool stock images. Komodo looks metallic, which he pretty much is, as we've talked about in the past. And yeah, Kyandee looks really good, although I think she looks a little bit big there. And yeah, cool stuff. T48A, we'll see if that matches her date stamp on the base of her. Yeah, really cool. Excited to get into it. So yeah, why don't we? Let's rip her open. Here is Kyandee out of the package, looking nice and glossy. And there is Kyandee from the Tokyo Mater short. Just a background character, doesn't have any speaking lines or anything like that. But yeah, I'd say one of the better background characters they chose to release, because there are some really cool ones. There are some not so exotic ones, Kyandee being one of those more exotic ones with all of her colors and whatnot. So let's get into the comparison here. China versus Thailand. What we have been really focusing on so much over the last few years is these country variant comparisons with Vietnam thrown in there every once in a while. So right off the bat, you get an upgrade. The eye plate and the mouth plate, those are plastic pieces on the Chinese version, are gone. They're now part of the main metal body, so you get more of a unibody here, which is always good, always preferable to segmentation. So you can see how the eyes before, that's a plastic piece within the chassis of the body, and same thing, this plastic bumper, you can see the crack between the main metal body and the plastic bumper there. That is all now just part of her one metal body piece. So that is an improvement for sure. The eyes are a little bit different, a little smaller, and moved up a little bit, I would say. I think that looks better. I mean, I think the larger eyes are a little bit distorted, unrealistic, a little bit out of proportion. So I do like the smaller eyes. And her mouth has also changed shape a little bit here. It's a little bit larger, a little bit, I'd say, like taller from the, top point there to the bottom point. Yeah, I think it looks good. So far, so good. I mean, obviously the black eyeliner there is a little grainy, not the clearest in the world, but we'll take it. As for the wheels, the yellow looks to be a little bit brighter, a little more vibrant than the faded yellow on the Chinese version. You got pink tires here. We'll get to the base in a little bit, but pink tires look pretty much the same. Yeah, I think the pink as a whole here on the side is a little bit more vibrant. You have plastic side view mirrors though, which has been the case since the beginning here. I'm pretty sure, yeah, those are plastic pieces. They're not part of the main metal body. She definitely feels heavier than the Chinese version. What I do love is the windows now are, the opaque gray. So then the black trim of the windows and the window bar coloring there stands out way more. Like they did that here too, but it's just not as noticeable on those windows versus the opaque ones here. You got the wing here in the back, which has always been a plastic piece. It's a little bit of a lighter pink now, it appears. On the roof, again, the orange is a little bit more concentrated. It's not as light. It's a little bit, more pulpy. It's like, in terms of orange juice, it's got more pulp in it. And that also contributes to the graininess. There's a little bit of graininess in these solid colors, which is a little disappointing. And then the thing there on the roof looks pretty good. What would that be called? Is that, oh man, I feel like someone told me this. An intake. It's like an intake, but on the roof. Kind of strange, but I like it, obviously. Characteristic of all these Tokyo Mater characters, all imports, all modified. I've always loved the bubble taillights that she's got here on the back. Again, Thailand on the right there, Chinese on the left. You have the windows, that's changed. She's never had a license plate. The little exhaust pipes went from being a silver there to the gray, so I don't love that, but Thailand has been changing pretty much all of that. You can see they actually made the exhaust pipes a larger piece, whereas before they kind of blended into the base there. So that's another little change. But with Kyandee not really having too many decals, you don't see as many changes as you would on some of these other cars. I will say, yeah, I think she looks better. This just looks a little messy there, the way that the trunk almost goes into the roof. Like, look at that right there, where the paint's a little bit messed up in the crevice in the corner. Just doesn't really look good, doesn't meld. And I know it's kind of an awkward piece, but you could kind of see it over there as well. Like that paint kind of crumpling up there in those corners. The Thailand version seamlessly integrates all these pieces and it looks really good. But again, when we're this zoomed in, you could definitely see the graininess of the paint a little bit more. Like it's a little staticky, which is just weird. I mean, it's a solid color, so I don't really know why that's occurring like that, but hey, it's not that big of a deal. Unless we're on 5x zoom, right? And here on the base, T48A, as to be expected, that means she was produced during the 48th week of 2024 at the A factory. So we would expect to see some 2025 codes here soon in terms of production. Made in Thailand, HVB05 is her, or that's 03 is her product code. And here's the original base. The 200th day of 2010 is when that would have been made at the EAA factory. Interesting stuff. A lot less going on the base. Doesn't even mention Mattel. Doesn't mention a product code. So doesn't say made in. Just says China. So yeah, a lot has changed since then. A lot has changed. Yeah, I think she looks good. You could argue she's not as good as the China version. She's better than the Chinese version. I think she's better because of the fact that she's a unibody now. You don't have the plastic mouth plate. You don't have the plastic eye plate. So I think those outweigh the graininess and whatnot. But also, like I said, in the back, the wing is a little seamlessly more connected to the body. I thought that looked good. Let's take a look at the prototype that I acquired of her. Probably wouldn't anticipate too many differences here, but we did see quite a bit when I compared my Acer prototype, like this coded one, to the finalized product. So maybe we'll see some more changes here. But you can see this is a coded prototype T32A, so made, this is T48, so that is, 16 weeks prior to when this one got made. That's pretty crazy. That's a good chunk of the year right there. But so far, not really seeing any major differences. Cute car, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't really see anything worth mentioning. Maybe you guys see something that are screaming at me. T32A, T48A. Yeah, looks like they had this one pretty much wrapped up and good to go for a while now. Whereas Acer, like I said, they changed up his windows. I think there was one other thing on him that they might have adjusted, is probably a good word. So yeah, there you have Kyandee. Let's now show a couple other Tokyo Mater characters like Cho. And again, we'll have the Thailand version of Cho, so we'll do an even better comparison when I review her. Everyone will get their own video because they're all coming out at separate times. Yeah, her eyes are even kind of more cartoony and bigger than Kyandee's, so would expect those to get toned down. I actually do have the Cho, the Thailand Cho, in fact, already as a prototype. So I guess I kind of already have the answer to that question. But yeah, these two are the exact same models, just straight up repaints. Cho has just always been a little bit more iconic because I think she not only was the first one to be released out of these two, she was one of the first Tokyo Mater characters released, period. But also in the short, she gets a little bit more face or screen time. She's the car that reacts to Mater's modification. You can kind of hear that, oh, that was a horrible impression, but you know what I'm talking about. I think Manji and her are like right next to each other on screen. So yeah, that's why Cho's always been regarded in a higher light. Also, third reason why Cho has been seen as superior to Kyandee is that Cho is so similar to Emma from the Cars video game, because they both are like white and pink and they're the same exact model. In fact, I have a custom of Emma that used a Cho and its mouth plate is falling off, which is why I also really appreciate the unibody here, because that problem would not happen if you were to make a Emma custom out of this model. So some cool stuff to keep in mind there. It is kind of interesting that Cho's just always just instinctively, it's like, well, what the hell? Like, Kyandee's cool too. Kyandee's got more colors, right? Kyandee's a little bit more unique. Yeah, well, unfortunately, Kyandee doesn't have a video game counterpart that's almost identical to her. So yeah, that's kind of holding her back. And then you have Bye Bye Car, who's just absolutely incredible. A unique model, beautiful decals, and yeah, was released toward the end of the Tokyo Mater run. Kyandee was middle, Cho was at the beginning, and yeah, ended up becoming very rare. Not quite as rare as Tabainu, but up there with Yojimbo in terms of Tokyo Mater rarity. But yeah, she's also got an ugly mouth plate right there, because it doesn't even extend all the way to the end like it does with Kyandee and Cho. It's just, yeah, such a weird, gross model. And then you got the splitter down there too. So yeah, expecting big things out of Bye Bye Car, but the decals might get a little blurry. So we'll have to see. We'll have plenty of time before Bye Bye Car gets released though. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have for Kyandee. Her and Cho are the only ones of that model, but you might associate her with Suki, or, Ichigo, Harumi, Chisaki, all of the other kind of Tokyo girls from Cars Toon that have similar models, but definitely different. Or maybe you think of Okuni and Shigeko, or Tomiko, the purple one, with the fans and the traditional dancing attire. Or you think of canceled Tanban, Sanban, and then they probably were also going to do the other stoplight girls, Niban and Ichiban. So really cool. Tokyo Mater just has so much depth to it. That's why it's my favorite. It's also exciting. It's got great music. It's kind of epic. Yeah, the music at the end is just utterly perfection, although I believe it's a Korean song that they play during the credits. So let me know in the comments below, guys, who is your favorite out of these three, Bye Bye Car, Cho, or Kyandee? I feel like a lot of people will probably say Bye Bye Car, but I'm curious. Actually, you know what? Here's an easier question. Cho or Kyandee? Settle the debate. Who's better, Cho or Kyandee? I will see you guys soon for another video. Bye now. I feel like this video actually would feel incomplete if I didn't show my Thailand Cho, the prototype here, just so you guys can get a preliminary idea of what she looks like and compare her to Kyandee here, just in case, make it to the Thailand show video. You don't end up seeing that one. But yeah, you can see the eyes, similarly reduced in size, now a unibody. The wing, the decals look really clustered and clumped, though. I don't like that at all compared to what we got in the Chinese version. So we'll see again if they make any changes. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to give you a preliminary early look at the Thailand show and compare it to the Thailand Kyandee. But we'll do kind of all this again when we get to the Thailand show video. Thanks, guys.